This is Abnormal Entertainment.
2, 3, 4. Walked into the tunnel just to find the light. Hunted for old demons, looking for a fight. Looked up at the stars, seemed to go forever. There must be a way, it all fits together. Fell into the quicksand, held on to the vines. Never could quite color, stay within the lines. Feels like I have wings, I can fly wherever. This is just a way, it all fits together. Finally saw the world through rose-colored glasses. Gonna share my journey to small and large masses. Give up on my life, no sir, me never. This is how I put it together. This is how I put it together. This is how I put it together.
Hey everybody, this is Daniel Garza. Welcome to another episode of Put It Together. I'd like to start as usual, inviting everybody to check us out at normalentertainment.com, where you find all the shows on the network. Go check us out. This week I'm excited. Again, I say that every time. I'm always excited to talk to my guests, but this time, Brayan. And I noticed as I was writing your name, Brayan, I was missing an A. It's Brayan, right?
Yeah,
all right.
Spanish.
Brayan Olivares. And that's what I thought. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, what is your background, your family's background?
My parents are from Mexico City.
Oh, the Mexico City? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I've always noticed that spellings like that are usually like very Southern American.
Yeah, that was
Salvadorian, Guatemalan.
That was my mom's doing. She's the one that chose that spelling.
The spelling? It's
Yeah.
original. It puts you aside, so that's always good.
Yeah, my dad was not happy about it. He was out of town when that happened.
Really?
He was out of town working, and then he came back when they gave me my name, and then he was like, "What's this?" And then my mom's like, "My mom chose the name," so he was not happy.
Well, when I'm sure in the and we'll talk about this in the world of bodybuilding, that has to stand out. Like you have to look at the name and go, "Oh, that's that guy Brayan," right?
Yeah, definitely. People remember me because it's different. It's like Brayan. They'll say, "Wait, am I reading this right?" Or they'll say, "Wait, is this how you really spell it?" Or
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Okay," but they remember.
So for those of you, I always give you all a backstory. Brayan is a brand ambassador. So he joined, for those of you that know that I used to do promotional work, or I still do some promotional work. He joined the group and I stalk people. Everybody knows I stalk people. So I saw his picture, and once you guys see his link and follow him on Instagram, you'll know how dedicated he is to bodybuilding. So I looked at the picture, and the first thing that popped up was the muscles. And I was like, who is this dude? So I followed him, and then I followed you on Instagram. And I've been following you, I guess, for a year now.
Yes,
Your transition, but then you might tell us about it in a little bit, but you are prepping for a competition coming up in April?
Yeah. So initially it was April. That was my aim, and I will be ready by April. I mean, the diet, everything's been on point. But my friend's actually my best friend going on vacation for Thailand, and he won't be. You know, he's been at every of my shows, and he's like, I've known this guy for 13 years, so he's part of my family. So he won't be here. So instead, I decided to push it to May. So now I'm actually going to do May 4th, and this gives me a chance to get in even better shape, better conditioning, and he'll be there. You know,
Nice.
Yeah.
Can we say your friend's name?
Yeah, his name's Anthony B.
Anthony, this is for you, Anthony. So
He's actually in the page too. He's in the page.
So this episode will be dedicated to Anthony because we're going to hold it until May so that you can be there. But for those of you, again, I joked when I got here and told them I don't work out because Brian does the workout for like 4 people, so I will put myself on those 4 people. So what I'm eating talk with Brian is bodybuilding. So thank you for taking my spot too. Let's get started. Let's hear your story. So Brian Olivares, tell us how you put it together.
So it started, since I was a young kid. My dad, I'm his first boy. I have a brother. He's my younger brother's the second. So me being the first boy, my dad, ever since I was a kid, wanted me to do sports. He grew up in sports. He was a wrestler all through high school and through college. So he did a lot of wrestling. He was very active, very strong guy. So he wanted me to follow his, that discipline. It's my brother. That's how I got started into different sports. He would sign me up to soccer, basketball, football. So I tried everything since I could remember. I tried every single sport. And about high school, that's when I kind of got interested in bodybuilding because I was always very thin, very, very thin. I was 115 pounds in high school.
Wow.
So I was like super skinny. That's back when I was boxing actually. So I boxed for a couple of years and my weight was always 115. No matter how much I ate because of all the endurance work that I was doing, I wouldn't go up in weight. So one day I kind of, got tired of just being so thin, so skinny. I wanted to get a little bit bigger, so I started reading these magazines, these muscle magazines, and I would see these guys with, huge arms, big builds, and I thought it was very impressive. So I started doing research. So I did all my research on how I could, become that. I could get bigger.
But as a boxer, you want to be slim.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my coach was not happy about it. My coach was super mad. He told my dad that I was going to become a professional boxer. He told me that because he had trained professional boxers himself. So he said that he saw it in me, that he saw that right away, that I got everything super fast and I was very good, very fast. So he said, your son's going to become a professional boxer if you keep him with me, if he keeps coming. So my dad was so happy and excited. I thought my son's going to be a professional boxer, but I didn't like hurting. When I would go in the ring and I would spar and I would hurt somebody, that would fall on the floor because I would hit them really hard, and that just didn't make me feel good. So that's when I realized I'm not going to be a boxer because I don't like hurting people and I don't like killing people.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of like the whole point of the game.
That's the whole point, yeah. So I'm like, I can't do this. And when I told my dad, he was so mad. He was super mad about it. He was like, you know how much money you can make, blah, blah, blah. Do you know that, you're going to be a professional, you're going to be worldwide, you're going to be known. Yeah. So, I kind of crushed his dream. Sorry, Dad. And it just wasn't for me.
So, Latino boxers are very well.
Yeah, especially Mexican boxers is like huge, like boxing. Have some amazing boxers,
Right.
So my dad was very upset. But it just wasn't for me. So I stopped, boxing as much as I was before, and I started lifting weights. So yeah, that was making me heavier, and I started losing, my speed and all that. But like I said, I didn't want to be a professional boxer.
Right. Now, for the people that are kids that are listening, are there similar disciplines when it comes to boxing and bodybuilding?
There are, as not the diet. The diet, not at all. But when it comes to the training is you have to be very disciplined. You have to be there every day. I was boxing at least 5 days out of the week for 3 hours. Wow. Every day. Yeah. So there'll be an hour of like warm up, core work. There'll be an hour of sparring, and then there'll be an hour of explosive work, like very lightweight, try to become more explosive and stuff.
Right.
So that was 3 hours a day, 5 days out of the week. You have to be consistent so that you can get better at it. It's the same thing with bodybuilding. You have to be consistent. You have to be there every day. But the difference is with bodybuilding, it's more a 24-hour job because you have to actually watch what you eat. You have to get enough protein, enough carbs, enough healthy fats. Whereas with boxing, you could honestly, I was eating everything and anything. Our coach would tell us, like, you guys have to eat pizza and burgers every day because you're gonna burn it all off. You need that as fuel.
Oh, wow.
It's like there's no way you're gonna eat enough eating clean. There's no way. It's like unless you're one of those people that loves to eat.
Because
like, all day.
you go from full cardio stuff, correct, to no cardio.
Yeah, and every hour we're burning at least between 800 to 1,000 calories.
Now, how old were you then?
I started that when I was about 14 to about 17.
Now,
Like high school.
okay, well, I remember my 14. I was a dancer then, so I remember being in shape. I was in shape at one time, just to let you know. At 14, 15, your body's still kind of transitioning. Was there any questions like, he shouldn't be doing this so early, or it's not a good time?
It was more my mom's concerns. Like, she was like, he's too young for this. He might not grow or develop like he's supposed to. My dad and the coach were just like, nah, he'll be fine. It was more my mom that was concerned. My mom wouldn't, she would come to like when I would have my sparrings and my fights, but she would just kind of like look away as much as she could. But my dad was like, come on, yeah.
Right.
But no, there wasn't much concern about that.
So your mom was happy that you weren't fighting or bodybuilding.
Yeah. My mom was like, yeah, let him do what he wants to do. Let him be happy. He doesn't like this stuff, and it's not for him. And yeah, but no, there wasn't any concern. My coach actually told me that there wouldn't be any problems with growing or anything like that, or puberty, nothing. He was like, no, this is conditioning work. We're not having to lift crazy heavy weight or anything like that. It's all body work. It's all body weight, dips, pull-ups, and all that stuff. So he was like, no, this is not. This is actually going to help him with discipline.
Yeah, I'm sure.
In the long term.
Like I said, my biggest claim to any kind of sport is I was a folklorico. I was dancing in high school, junior high and high school with the right. And you're constantly moving when you're dancing. So I remember just my body was just toned all the time just from dancing. Yeah. What do I eat? So you do this all through high school?
High school,
yeah. And you're competing in bodybuilding? And
I started that at 21. 21.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I was 20, and I was about to turn 21 when I did my first show.
So you're boxing during high school? Mm-hmm. And then once you're out of high school, you go into bodybuilding?
Correct, yeah. It was about like my senior year when I started getting more into the weight room and weightlifting. When I started doing more research and stuff like that. And then, I transitioned slowly from I'll be honest, when I was right after high school, I just partied and,
right.
I did my thing. So I didn't have any discipline. I would come in and out of the gym. So there was no results, until I was 20. When I turned 20, I said, you know what? I had to take this serious if I want real results. So then I did a whole year of 100% diet where I was waiting on my food, and every single day I was eating enough protein. Every single day I was drinking enough water. Every day I was hitting the gym. I would take one day off every 2-3 weeks.
Wow.
So that's when I saw great results.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided to do my first show, because I got in great shape. So.
And how old were you then?
I was 20. I was about to turn 21. So it was about a year of this discipline, 100%. It was all in. I was there every single day. I wasn't worried about anything. It was I was in college, but still the gym was my priority.
Yeah, that was your relationship.
My grades weren't that great. But
do you remember your first show?
Yeah, I do. I will never forget my first show. Never.
Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, it was. To be honest, when I would see the results, I was very happy, and the confidence I had was amazing. I had so many people come up to me and ask me for advice, ask me for help. Everywhere I would go, people would turn to me and just compliment me, and people that even would never talk to me ever at the gym or anywhere, they would go out of their way to come and talk to me because they were just wow, they never seen somebody in that shape. I was easily, I was close to 5% body fat, and wow. I was just
I have no comprehension. I'm a 5% body fat. That is not compute in my brain.
it just looked really unreal. Honestly, it looked crazy.
But that's what you want for a competition,
That's what we want, yeah.
right? I mean, we want to see somebody with the body that most humans cannot achieve.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what wins the show too. That's what the judges are looking for. They're looking for that crazy condition, and they're looking for, other things, but the condition is one of the things.
So can you walk us through that day getting to competition?
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you just a little bit more before I stepped on stage. It was about a week before. I remember that whole week I wanted to quit really badly. Yeah, because I pushed myself so hard that I couldn't even drive myself anywhere. I had one of my really good friends. We don't talk anymore, but I think she moved away. But she was there for me, and she would pick me up and drive me. She would drive me to the gym. She would drive me shopping. She would drive me everywhere. I was so depleted that I could not function. Like my brain was not working. And a couple of older bodybuilders that I trusted told me that they were like, if you're like a zombie, you're doing it right. They were like,
really?
You're just so depleted that your brain it's not getting enough sugar glycogen function pretty much. So they're like, it's okay. It's a sacrifice. Like, you're not going to feel like that.
You feel like crap, but that's good.
I swear to God, they're like, the more you feel like crap, the better you're going to look on stage.
Really?
So it was actually true though. I looked crazy that day. But, for a couple of, I would say the last 3 days before the show were the worst because I had to cut water. That was the worst feeling in my life. Cutting water was not like, I swear I thought I was going to die a couple of times.
Can I ask why you have to cut water?
Yeah, you cut water because, you have to get dry. So not only do you lose fat, but you deplete water. It varies on the person. But if you want to come completely dry and completely just look crazy, you do have to cut water a little bit. So 3 days before I was only drinking maybe 4 ounces of water a day. So that was
that's just enough nothing to keep you alive. Yeah.
Yeah. Think about it. And I was still eating food. So it was horrible. But, it paid off. I looked crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean, you look like those guys we see on magazines and movies, and you're like, I don't know how they do it. Well, this is how they do it.
Yeah,
this is how you do it.
Yeah.
So a week before you can't drive anymore.
Yeah.
You're a zombie.
Yeah.
So you're basically an episode of Living Dead.
Yeah.
Not drinking water.
Not drinking water for that.
You're eating regular food.
Yeah. I was eating chicken breast and tilapia and broccoli. That was all I was eating. Every single, for maybe a month. That was chicken breast, tilapia, broccoli, and asparagus.
So it's not even like a week before. Like a month before, you're already prepping for this competition.
Yeah, I prepped for that competition for about 2.5 months.
Wow.
The month 4 weeks before, I was told again by a bodybuilder that I trusted that all I was allowed to eat was chicken breast, tilapia, and asparagus, and egg whites, but few egg whites because of the sodium or whatever. Later on, I did more research, and that was just like really old school thinking and old school.
Right.
That's just old school, like,
right.
They call it bro science. It's like myths. Because I've done shows now after that experience where I even eat ice cream and pizza like a couple of weeks before, and I'm fine.
Right.
You just count calories. So I learned a lot. And you don't have to cut out water like I did. That was unnecessary.
You don't have to pretend to be dead to be alive.
No.
So the day of the training, what is it like? I mean, the day of the show. Yeah.
It was, I didn't sleep, honestly. Maybe I slept like 30 minutes because I was like, that's another thing actually. When you're getting ready for a show, because you're so depleted, your hormones are honestly like, both men and women, hormones are completely out of whack. They're just for women, it's worse. A lot of them even stop getting their period because their hormones are so low. And then for guys, it's kind of the same thing. Your mood swings are like crazy. You can't think. You feel happy one day, you feel really sad the next. It's just like that. So I'm sorry, I lost track. What was the question?
The day of the show.
The day of the show. So you can't sleep. It's really, really difficult to sleep. I would say the last week before, even 2 weeks actually before the show, I was sleeping maybe 3 hours a day.
Wow.
2 to 3 hours. If I was lucky if I got 5. Like, I was so lucky because your body is, like I said, the hormones and everything's just
Yeah.
horrible.
And then there has to be a point, because I'm sure a lot of us have been there, like you're so exhausted that you can't sleep anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've passed that mark.
Yeah.
Right?
And then another problems or another obstacle is trying to go to sleep hungry. You go to sleep hungry.
Yeah.
You're hungry. So
you probably tell I don't go to bed hungry. So that morning after not sleeping, you haven't eaten really anything for like 2 months. You haven't drank water for like 3 days. No sleep, much brain.
Yeah. So that day was actually a good day because that day, starting early in the morning, the show usually starts around, they have a pre-judging, which is almost nobody's in the stadium or where the show is, and there's only the judges and a few photographers, and they judge you before the main event, which is in the afternoon. So they actually make 90% of their decision at that moment.
At the preliminaries.
Yeah, pretty much. And they tell you if you made it to the finals or not. Some people won't come back for the finals. So, so that's around 10 it begins, depending on which class you're on. For example, for me, I went on stage around 11:30. And then it also depends how big the show is. But that day was actually a good day because I woke up at 5 to eat food and to eat sugar. So what happens is after depleting your body so much, you have to now fill it up with glycogen and with salt and all that stuff that you were deprived of. Now you eat these foods so that your muscles can fill up.
Right.
So I was happy, and I could drink water. It was very little, but still, I was happy. So I remember just the morning I woke up, I had some eggs, and I had like beef, steak, I had rice cakes with like honey.
This is breakfast.
I was so happy. Yeah.
This is breakfast. Okay.
At that point, you start eating every hour. So every hour you're eating, and you're looking at yourself, or if you have a coach, they're looking at you and telling you, okay, eat a little bit more or cut it down. Because you can fill up enough where you look hard and dry, but you can overfill where, especially if you're having too much water, where you're gonna look watery. So your abs will fade, your lines will start fading away. Yeah. This happens within a matter of just a couple of hours. You can wake up at 5 in the morning and look amazing, and by 10 o'clock, just 5 hours, even 2 hours, you look like trash.
And
like
that has to be.
You threw it all away.
I was gonna say that has to be frustrating.
Yeah. I saw people like that. I saw people that were stressing out, and an hour right before they stepped on stage, they looked incredible. Right before going on stage, they looked horrible because they stressed themselves out so much. That's another thing, like the stress hormone kicks in. So
yeah, because your hormones are off whack. Mm-hmm. You're not balanced or centered, and then you add more stress to that.
Yeah.
And as somebody who's had health stuff through the years, I know what stress can do to your body. Like, again, you can walk out of your house feeling great, and you're so stressed from whatever that in an hour or 2 hours time, your body's just waking up. Yeah. So were you confident at first?
You know what? I was very, very nervous, but when I went backstage with all the other competitors, they were all so nice. They were very, very nice. I had people from teenagers all the way up to their 60s, 70s competing. Wow. And they were all like a family. It's like they all knew each other. They were from all over the world too, but they didn't know each other, but they acted like they did. And then that's when I realized we're all connected through the same motive. We're all here to bodybuild. We're here. That's why we got along so well. And that's why they made it feel like a family. So then after that, I felt really confident. I felt really good, and I enjoyed it. I had a blast.
Nice. So how did that first competition go?
Well, I got 3rd place in my class.
Nice.
So, I know I could have for sure taken 1st place if I would have, done a couple of things differently. My posting and just a few things. I know for sure that I look better than the guy that won 1st place. But it is what it is. You live and you learn. Because
from what I've seen on shows, and I did watch a couple of videos before coming out to see just how so I think I would have an idea of what I'm talking about. Because there are guys that just standing there look amazing, but then their poses look awkward.
Yeah.
And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And their muscles get lost, and you're like, well, that's the whole point.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, posing is a huge part. In bodybuilding, you have to show your strengths and learn to hide your weaknesses. That's what it pretty much is. So if there's a pose that does not look good on you, or you can't do it like where it looks natural, then don't do it.
Well, isn't that just a metaphor for life?
Yeah.
Normal life, you hide. Sorry, well, you just said that you.
Hide your weaknesses.
Highlight
Show
your
your strengths.
strengths and hide your weaknesses. How does that translate to your life?
Yeah, I mean, I always try to work on my weaknesses, like just like bodybuilding, but I do highlight my strengths, when it comes to either jobs or, when it comes to communicating with people. So, I mean, yeah, like my strengths would be, a couple of my strengths would be like, sometimes when I have jobs, like I'll be a leader and I can help people, I can motivate people, I can help people feel better and more confident. So it definitely transfers. A lot of the bodybuilding things transfer into, or just any sport transfers into real life. When it comes to discipline, the hard work, dedication.
Is bodybuilding the sport? Is it a selfish sport? I mean, does it require a lot of your attention?
Yeah, I would say just like any other sport, not just bodybuilding. I would say any sport. When you want to be great, when you want to be, like champion, when you want to be number one, you have to be very selfish. You do, but you also have to find balance. I feel like, if you don't have balance, you're gonna burn yourself out eventually. Or you're gonna, grow older, and you're gonna regret the life you lived. And I don't want to do that. I never want to.
What has been the ripple effect on friends, family, relationships?
At the beginning, I was definitely very cold because I'm sure a lot of people have seen that documentary where Arnold pumping iron. So he talks about how when he competes, he blocks everything out. He talks about how his dad died and he ignored it. He's like, my dad died. Oh well, what can I do? My mom called me, and I said, okay, well, sorry. But he didn't even explain to her why. She's like, yeah, okay, I gotta go. And he was just very cold. He's like, you have to have that mentality. You're just cold and heartless.
Right.
So I had the mentality at first. I was like, yeah, I don't care about, relationships. I don't care about girls. I don't care about friends. I don't care about family, nothing. So I blocked everything and everyone 100%. And that just, it didn't help. It made me feel very alone. It made me feel sad. It made me feel just negative. This is all negative emotions. So later on, I learned to have balance. I still hang out with my friends, when they go out. Oh, I wouldn't even go out partying or nothing. Friends' birthdays and stuff like that, I would avoid them. Because I was like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to drink, I'm going to mess up my diet. But now it's, there's ways to balance that out. So I still go out with my friends, but I would just want to drink, you drink water, but I can still hang out with them, have a good time. I can go out to restaurants. I don't have to go eat the burger. I can eat, a steak or chicken or something that they can grill for me. So there's ways that you can balance out your life.
How much of an obsession can it become? Because for instance, like I know when I'm really excited about a podcast or an episode that I'm going to interview, I can dominate a conversation and be like, oh, I'm going to do this. And then everybody has to listen to me talk about it like 24/7. Is that part of the balance? Do you learn to okay, not everybody is into bodybuilding, so I need to not talk about it?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, definitely. You can't, because people can become very, very upset. And I feel like the uglier side is when people think they're better than others. I think that's the worst part. When there's bodybuilders, I know a couple of them that think they're better than others because they can do more cardio, because they can diet, because they do shows. And I just think that's ugly, So I started this not just for, my own health, to feel better and look better, but also to help others. So I feel like that's.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a huge reason why I started doing this also. Motivate others, help others.
So, yeah, because we've all had my first image. My first image of bodybuilders was watching videos when I lived in Texas, watching videos of California and thinking in Venice Beach and Muscle Beach, and be like, oh, okay, so that's bodybuilding, like big guys, pretty muscles. Okay, fine, good for you. But there is so much more to it. Mentally speaking, psychologically speaking, over the last, because how long have you been doing this now? You started in your early 20s. How long have you been?
It's been about 5 years. I'm serious.
How has your mentality worked? The way you see your body, the way you see the world, the way you see eating, how has it all evolved?
Oh yes, especially nowadays with all the information that we have. You know, all the diets that keep coming. All these diets are not new, like, you know, keto and vegan, all that stuff. People have been doing this for years. It just comes back, and then people market it and they, you know, make money out of it.
Right.
It's yeah, it works like that. But yeah, it did change, you know, the way I looked at food, the way I looked at, you know, pretty much, yeah, like the world and everything, because I noticed how many people around the world want to become healthier and more fit, but they just either they won't build the habits. They like everyone. I feel like everyone knows the answers. Like they know what they have to do to get the body they want, but they still look for the secret. They still do this for ever since I started like 5 years ago. People would always look at this secret. When I did my first show, come up to me, what kind of protein do you take? You know, what kind of supplements do you take? How much cardio do you do? It's like they think that there's one thing that's just gonna magically make it happen. It's like it's not. It's a combination of everything, and the main thing is consistency. Consistency is the main thing, because you have to be consistent with your diet, consistent with your training, and that will get you where you want to be.
Because it doesn't matter what brand of chicken you go buy, as long as you prep it the right way, eat it the right way. I mean, if you're gonna buy the healthiest chicken and you're still gonna fry it, it's still fried chicken. It doesn't matter, right?
It's like you said, I see a lot of people go out and go to the gym and they kill it, and then they go out and eat in and out, or they go out and, you know, eat all this excess calories, and you just throw away all your workout in the trash.
But you don't deprive yourself.
I don't. No. I have balance, definitely, and I feel like that's the best way to maintain a diet or a nutrition. Because if you get depriving yourself, eventually you're gonna binge. Eventually you're gonna just give up. You know, you have to find something that you can, you know, keep long term. Right. So I still have ice cream here and there. I still have burgers here and there. But again, I work it into my diet, my calories, and I don't go over that. So you have to have some self control, and again, discipline. You have to have some discipline.
And I feel like that's the key word to this whole conversation: be disciplined. Because I'll admit, I've had a lot of health issues in my life, and I should eat better. And I do my best to do better. But then I'll have like a whole week with like no sodas, just water or lemonades. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like I'm not bloated. I feel great. And then that one Friday, I go out to get some tacos, and you gotta have a Mexican cook for that. And all of a sudden I feel bloated again. I'm like, oh, like I just blew all that away. Because I'm going to Hawaii, and we're going to Hawaii, and I want to look good. So this is why I'm carrying my little red bottle of water. And maybe you can give us some pointers on that, because I have a lot of, well, we both do promotions. I have tons of water bottles from every promotion that I've ever done. But I finally found this red one, and it catches my eye. So it reminds me that I have to drink water for some reason. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop and get water. And I carry it everywhere I go now. What are some of the things that you do to make it not seem like it's a chore? Yeah.
You know, start small. I always tell, you know, because I'm also a freelance personal trainer, so I do training, online coaching, stuff like that. And I always tell my clients that start small steps. You know, a lot of people want to go into just hardcore, I'm gonna do juice cleanse, and I'm gonna just eat chicken every meal, and like they want to go like whole church and just.
Oh yeah.
It's like that usually does not work. You know, you do have to build small habits. So I always tell my clients, don't beat yourself up. Start small. You know, start with just waking up every day in the morning and having 1 or 2 cups of water. Just start with that. You know, do that for a week, and after you're used to that, you know, the next week, do the water, and then add in a cup of oatmeal with some blueberries. And after you do that again for another week or 2, then you have 2 habits already. Then you start adding on to that. Because that's what I did, and that's what a lot of my friends have done that are bodybuilders, and then it just became a lifestyle.
Right.
So I would say start with small habits, just little things, like you carrying your red bottle. So that's one habit right now. So just keep up with that habit for, like, let's say a week. And then next week, you know, go into, you know, eating, like I said, like oatmeal or something.
Yeah.
Every day. And then just like that.
Yeah, like my breakfast used to be my cup of coffee and a banana, because I'm always on the go in the morning. So I'm like, I don't have time for to sit down in the go. Vámonos. So people, I got here and I saw a bunch of bananas in the cupboard. I was like, I'll take a banana. Now I feel like I've completed my day. I had a cup of coffee, water, and a banana. Yeah, ya acabamos. Yeah, the rest of the day is free. What does it do? Again, what does it do to your mind? Like, do you see everything around you now as a discipline? And how do you unwind? How do you go from Brayan, bodybuilder, trainer, just Brayan?
Yeah, I do still see a lot of things. I do see a lot of things as discipline, and it's becoming harder and harder to detach from being the healthy person. Because before it was, at the beginning, it was kind of like, yeah, I'll go out with my friends and have drinks and this and that. But now I'm more like, is it really worth it? And now I don't think.
Because this is your career. It's your job.
Yeah.
It sounds a little weird to say it's your job to look good.
Mm-hmm.
And to have healthy habits and to follow. Because how many times have we read the news, or somebody who's a high profile physical person, and then we find out like she had, I don't know, plastic surgery or something. You're like, really? Or butt implants. And you're like, oh my God. So for a lot of us normal people, you're like, ¿para qué? Like, what's the point of doing it if I can just go get it surgically done? But for you, this is your job to look good 24/7. What do you do to unwind?
And I honestly, I enjoy it. To be honest, that was another reason why I started bodybuilding or lifting weights at the beginning. When I was in college, I was very stressed out, and I would go and smoke cigarettes.
Really?
Yeah, I was smoking a lot of cigarettes during college because I was so stressed out. I was working a full-time job and in college, and it was just very stressful. So I was just smoking cigarettes. So I saw it as a bad habit. So you know what? I need to, do something, change my habits. So then that's when I started, getting more into the gym. And then that was an outlet. So that helped me with stress. That helped me deal with stress. I feel great afterwards. So now I feel like that's how I unwind. I still unwind within the gym.
Really?
Yeah, that is one thing that I do. I still do other things, like I'll go hang out with my friends, we'll go out, we'll travel, same thing with my family. I'll spend time with my family. Same thing, we'll go out and travel. I think those are the things that help me unwind and help me kind of get away from the fitness world and the fitness lifestyle. But even when I travel, even when I'm out, like I still find gyms and I still get my workout in. It's just a lifestyle. So it's like, oh, we're going to go to lunch at noon and we're going to go, hiking or whatever at 6. So I'm like, okay, I plan my day. Okay, so I have about an hour between here and here. So I'm going to go to the gym, go work out, and come back and then go about my day. So that's...
Yeah, that's... Again, I'm glad that you took over the post of 4 people to work out. And again, for those of you listening, we're talking to Brayan Olivares, bodybuilder. If at this point you clicked on this and you haven't found him, go check out his Instagram. It's insane. I look at it when I'm feeling like, okay, should I have a taco or should I have some fruit? And then I'll check you out. I'm like, okay, I'll have some protein. God, Brian, you make me feel guilty. Going out, because you're talking right now about like go on vacation and going out. Do people get frustrated with you? Like,
Yeah. At the beginning, my friends would. My friends would be like, "Oh, come on," or when I wouldn't drink, like, "Come on," blah 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 blah, and I'll be like, "Nah, I'm not gonna." And now they actually they follow my steps.
oh, nice.
They see me. They're like, "Oh, I want to look, I want to have a six pack too." Blah blah blah. So now they cut down on the drinking as well. Even with my family, when they would want me to, tacos and tortas and everything, and I was saying no. After a while, they would just sit there and look and be like, "Wow, how can you do it? You can do it. We can do it too." So then they actually did change their lifestyles. They stopped drinking so much soda. They stopped eating, all these greasy foods, and now they a lot healthier. They feel better. They look better. So they actually, they at first, they were kind of, a little mad about it. Like, come on. But then they actually got followed the steps.
And again, as we were talking earlier about the ripple effect, that is part of the ripple effect. You put good energy out, which is your habits. And I don't like calling them habits because I feel like it has a negative intonation to it. Your lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. You put out that energy like, this is my lifestyle and it's good for me. You don't have to do it, but it works for me. And then people start seeing you going, oh, like, I don't want to have big muscles, but I don't want to look fat either. Let me try. And for those of you who think not that being fat is bad, my boyfriend's chunky and I love him. But feeling better about yourself.
Right.
How do you maintain your positive outlook?
I keep, I know the part of it, there's different things that can be motivated. One of them is having my goal in mind. So I keep where I want to ultimately be in mind. So I remember
your vision,
that. Yeah. So every time I'm like, I feel a little down or I feel like I do it, I envision that this is where I want to be. That's what I want to do. And I know that's what's going to make me happy. So I just envision that. And then also the people that are around me, because there are a lot of negative people around me. That, believe me, I've learned the hard way that there's a lot of fake people out there that wish you the best, but behind your back they're fake. There's a lot of negativity, but I don't focus on it. I focus on the people that are actually, cheering for me,
right,
that want me to do good, and I do it for them as well, because I don't want to let them down. I want to, these are people that I care for myself, and I want to make them proud as well. My family, my friends, so that's another thing that also keeps me, focused.
Focus, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I would say those are the two big ones. Definitely.
For a kid that's listening or watching, or somebody like me, I'll admit I have a gym membership and I have all the clothes that go with it. Have I been? No. And I actually, before cancer, I was always active in promotions. And for people who don't know what promotions are talking about, if you've ever been to an event and there's people giving away free t-shirts or having you sign up for a survey or giving away hats, that's promotional work. That's what we do. Brian still works in the field, but I do more of the staffing now and run a page. So if you're interested in that kind of work, get in touch. We'll hook you up. And if you're setting up for an event, it's like a good 8 hours of running around and putting everything together. And then you work an event and you're there for like 4 or 6 hours constantly moving and then break everything down. And it's usually like a good 12, 14-hour day sometimes. So I was never concerned about having to go to the gym because I was working out every day. You work 5, 6 days a week.
Yeah,
you're constantly moving. Yeah. Then cancer came around, and maybe you can give me some pointers because cancer came around, and I have an ostomy too, so that makes it hard to like lift very heavy stuff. So I can't do it just not because I don't want to. It's just my body will not. Right. It won't be good. My depression kicked in, and my anxiety and my panic attacks. So that kept me from wanting to go. And then body issues. Like I don't want to go to the gym and be around a bunch of people. And they're all going to look like you, and I'm going to look like me, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. But there's always somebody we know that needs that little motivation to just walk, to do something. What would you tell them?
You know, I would start with saying don't be so hard on yourself. You know, a lot of us are very hard on ourselves. Let's say just start by not being so hard on yourself. I'm always trying to be very thankful for just being alive first. So we take a lot of things for granted. So I would say, start by being thankful. I think that will help you get over a lot of things. Be thankful that we're here. Be thankful that you're still breathing. That you're, your family. I know there's a lot of things happen. Like life happens, but for example, if you have a mom, a lot of people don't have moms. If you have a dad, that's a life. Be thankful for small things. And I think from there, you can start motivating yourself. So be thankful for a few things. Every single day when I wake up and before I go to sleep, I'm thankful for something. So I'll be thankful for the morning when I wake up. I'm thankful for waking up for another day. I'm thankful that, I have my legs, I can walk, I can just small things, that we take for granted, that there's people around the world that don't have these luxuries.
Right.
So start there. I would say start being thankful for small things. And then I think this will, give you positive energy. And then from there, you can start, being, just thinking about your goals. Mm-hmm. So I think that will really help, because if you're always in that, not thinking negative thoughts, it's going to be very, very hard to motivate yourself and to keep motivated. So I would say that's a good start. Wake up in the morning and say at least 3 things you're thankful for. And before you go to bed, again, think about 3 things you're thankful for. And I feel like this is going to keep positive growth, and then it's just going to build up. And it's going to motivate you to your goals and help you reach your goals.
It's from the way you speak, it sounds like everything in your life has a pattern, a discipline, or again, a lifestyle. I don't like the word habit. Like you've developed these habits of like, I wake up, I do this, I do the day, I'm going to do this, lunchtime, this, dinner. Does it get repetitious at any point? Does it get tedious at any point?
No, not really. I wouldn't think so. I think, no, I enjoy it. So, no.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you are actually the first person. You're the first bodybuilder. I spoke to one of them. Anyway, I'll tell you off the record. Just the way you talk, it's just like, this is just my life. Like, I don't question it. It's like somebody who goes into the priesthood or a singer that has to practice every day. This is just my life. Do you see it that way? Like, it's life.
Yeah, I do see it that way. I do see it. It's my life now, and it's the life that I chose, and it's the life that I want to keep living, and it's the life. I just feel so many things that I want to do and I want to accomplish. But I know that I'm in the right path to get into those goals. So
let me ask you that, because we usually about this point is when I ask for words of wisdom for people listening. But I think what you said earlier about being grateful and being thankful, I think that's beautiful words of wisdom. But I just lost my question. I'll come back to it in a minute.
Sure.
One of my regular questions for all my guests is, when they write the book of Brayan Olivares, when they write your biography, what will be the first sentence? Go.
So the first sentence I would say would be, I hope Brayan was a nice person. I really do hope that. I try to be as nice and positive to everyone as I can. I don't know. I'm a big believer in balance. I'm a big believer in the universe, and I know that we're all connected. I know that everything around the world is connected. So I'm a huge believer in that. Not a lot of people are going to be like, maybe a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy or whatever. Everyone has their own beliefs, and I respect that. But I believe that everything is connected and everyone's connected in some way, somehow, every living thing. Yeah. So I just hope that, I try to make a positive impact on anybody that I can, and just I hope that makes the world a better place in the future for my children, for their children, so on.
And no, you're not. A lot of people that follow this show know that I'm 100% on that thought. Like, there is a connection. Nothing is really coincidence, but we love to see it that way. Everything is lined up to work out the way it's supposed to, and we're gonna get to where we're supposed to get, regardless of what we do. The universe already has a path laid out for us.
Right.
But when you walk the path of least resistance, it just makes it a lot more enjoyable.
True.
We'll talk later, but everything that I've been through physically in my lifetime, any other person might be sitting at home bitter, angry at life or everything that's been through. But I formed that habit. I formed that lifestyle for myself into thinking there is a reason why I have cancer. There's a reason why I have an ostomy. There's a reason why we're sitting here together. Like, some things, somehow, I don't have to understand the message right away, but it'll come to me. God or the universe, I believe in God or the universe will be like, remember that time you talked to Brayan? This is why it's important. Got it. I understand it. But yes, everything has a connection. I do believe that every guest that I've ever had, by the time this show airs, we've crossed 250 episodes. I've been able to talk to over 250 people in 7 years on a show, and I've learned something from everybody. And I know that's what keeps me living a positive life. So, yes. If you could name this episode, what would you name it?
Brayan. Bodybuilder show.
Okay, cool.
I'm really bad with names. Naming things is not my thing. So. Yeah, so out there.
When you're feeling sad or blue or underwhelmed, do you have pep talks for yourself?
Oh yeah, all the time. I think I have one every day.
Really?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of people out there that are like myself that don't show it, but you have down times and you have times where you feel like crap, a little depression, a little bit, you do have to plug yourself. I do have those talks. Probably, at least once a day.
Do you still feel insecure sometimes?
Oh yeah, definitely. I still have insecurities. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I still have insecurities, but still working on that. Still, I know it sounds weird because I'm gonna be stepping on stage in like my underwear, like
basically, yeah.
You're insecure, but you're halfway naked up in like in front of hundreds of people. But yeah, I still have my insecurities, and like I said, I'm working on that, become a better person. It's just small little things, yeah. It's not something. It's something that it's like in my priority list. That's all that. Small little things. Try to focus on the positive as much as I can, and my goals and the things that I accomplish. That's the top. So that's.
Yeah, I just posted on Facebook not long ago. I was like, don't let my cool and collected exterior fool you. Inside, I'm freaking out and panic. Yeah, because I went and got interviewed today before I came here. They were doing an interview on HIV education, and they wanted to talk to me anyway. And the guy's like, you always seem so cool. I'm like, not even. Like, you have no clue. Like, I have a panic attack pretty much almost every morning before I leave the house. Just because I have a little bit of agoraphobia, so I panic before I leave the house. So I need to I have to talk myself into it. Yeah. Today, fortunately, I was talking to a really sweet friend of mine, a good friend of mine. She was on the phone with me while I was getting all my stuff together. So she kept my mind busy. And then when we had to hang up, it was like, oh, I have to go. So I didn't have time to panic. And then I got in the car and I was like, well, that was nice. That was a good thing. Yeah. And then for those of you that are listening, we had met in person. We just been chatting. So I was a little nervous getting here. I was like, oh my God, hope I asked the right questions. Anyway, so it's working out. We're almost down to the hour. What stage of your preparation are you for your next show?
Right now, I'm where it's very, very strict. So right now, I'm just sticking to, I have like a list of foods that I'm sticking to right now, just so that I can see where it's just bodybuilding. Honestly, when it comes to competing, it becomes kind of difficult towards the end because your body can change every hour. So if you stick with the same foods and you play with them up and down, then every morning when you wake up, you see what you look like with this amount of food, with this amount of water, this amount of salt. So, to keep it safe, I try to stick with the same foods, maybe for the last month or so. So then that way I come in safe, I don't mess something up. And I do coach myself. So I don't have a coach looking out, like saying, oh, do this, do that. You know what I mean? I feel confident enough to coach myself.
Really?
Yeah,
That's really cool.
I feel like I know enough and I know my body enough, and I'm always very honest with myself. That's another thing. There's a lot of people out there that are not very honest with themselves. I'm not going to look myself in the mirror and be like, you're ready for the show now. I know when I'm ready and I know when I'm not. So I feel like that's why I can coach myself. The only bad thing that's happened before is where I overworked. So I overdid it. I overdieted it. I did too much cardio and I came in like really flat. But I learned from that. So now I know when to stop.
Are you perfectionist?
Yes, yeah. Honestly, yeah. Especially when it comes to bodybuilding, because it's my passion. Fitness and bodybuilding is one of my passions. So it's my craft. Like I see it like art.
Mm-hmm.
It's my art. So it's gotta be perfect. It's gotta be the best that I can do so that I can present it to the world. So, yeah. When it comes to that, yeah, for sure.
Overachiever?
Yeah, I try to, that's why I say I overdiet and I overdo cardio sometimes. I'm like, I gotta do more harder. But sometimes you have to learn to balance it to stop. Support yourself.
Now, before we end up, we talked early on about your confidence build up.
Mm-hmm.
Does that come along with your self-esteem, with your self-worth, self-love?
No, yeah, definitely. It does. And it's taught me that, it really shouldn't matter what you look like. You can be a huge bodybuilder, or you can be a skinny guy, you could be a fat guy, whatever it is, you have to learn to love yourself. I think the outside appearance is not gonna, it's not gonna justify what happens on the inside. So you have to learn to love yourself on the inside, no matter what you look like. But it has boosted my confidence greatly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, being honest. When I walk in and people never see me, they're like, oh, that guy's pretty fit. It's it gives me confidence. Like, oh, you look good. I don't get cocky or anything. I just like, thank you, I appreciate it. That's it. But it has boosted my confidence for sure.
Yeah, because for those of you, at some point these videos will make it on YouTube. But if you haven't seen this on YouTube and you're listening, Brayan, he showed up after I waited for him for a couple of minutes, and he shows up with the sleeveless shirt. I'm like, okay, Brayan, show the muscles off, whatever, dude. But I was like, okay, fine, Brayan. No, I could have worn a sleeveless shirt too if I wanted to. Because I would say maybe finding that right place in your self-love and your self-worth, because you want to feel really good about yourself on the inside, but you're being judged. Part of your job is to be judged on the outside. So just before we go, like how do you manage? Because I have body issues because of the surgery, and I'm still we're going to Hawaii, and I'm freaking out. Nobody's gonna know me in Hawaii. Nobody's gonna care if like what I look like. I mean, I'm sure there's people that are heavier than me there, but I am freaking out about going to Hawaii and wearing a wrap to hide the surgery. because I'm afraid of being judged, and I've never really been that person. So how do you balance that? Like, I feel really great about myself inside, but I'm about to be judged by people that don't know me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's just the same. I feel like talking. I feel it's the same way that when I go on stage, when there's gonna be people that are gonna look at me and they're gonna say, "Wow, this guy." People that don't know me, they're gonna judge me. They're gonna say, "This guy looks like trash. This guy's abs are weak. This guy's calves are trash. Why is he up there?" I know that's gonna happen,
Right.
but ultimately, it's like, what are you doing it for? It's like I'm doing it for myself to make me happy, and I'm doing it for the people that are with me, my friends, my family, people that love me. So that's where all my energy will be focused on. It's not focused on So, like, for example, if you go out there at the beach and people are like, "Oh, what's going on?" It's like, who cares? You just block it. It's like, oh, you're nobody, and just walk away, whatever. And it's like you're with like your boyfriend or your family. You focus on them. You focus on being happy. Those people that matter. There's billions of people in the world. You can't. It's one person's opinion that doesn't even know you.
True.
Throw everything. Try.
True. I'm gonna text you before I go to Hawaii, Brian. I'm freaking out, man.
Gotcha.
You gotta train me here. And the last question before we go, if you can go back and talk to young you who was skinny, just starting with sports, what would you tell him?
Honestly, I wouldn't do much. It wouldn't be much different, but I would just tell myself that take your time and don't be so aggressive. Because I was very aggressive at the beginning when it came to doing anything. When I was in school, when I was in sports, when I was bodybuilding, I was aggressive. I had that mentality of all in, like all or nothing. And that just, you're going to burn yourself out quickly that way. So I would have just told myself, be more patient, take your time. And that would have helped me prevent a lot of injuries that I had also. And that would be my biggest advice.
Cool.
Patient.
So I'm sorry.
No, that's it. Just be more patient.
Be more patient. So where can people find you?
My Instagram is rawflex, just RAW flex, and then on that you can actually click on my bio. There's like YouTube. There's a link to my YouTube, and then my Facebook. I don't even know.
But if you want to see Brian's workouts,
this is Brayan Olivares.
Brian Olivares, yeah. That's hard to remember because you've had that picture on there for a while, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, for those of you, Brian Olivares, Bodybuilder, when he submitted to the brand ambassador page, which was about a year ago or so, and I'm pretty much the one that accepts everybody into the group. I remember seeing the picture and I was like, this guy has underwear? Hell no, not accepting him. And then as I looked, I was like, oh no, he's a bodybuilder. And then I started following, and then I found your Instagram, and I was like, okay, this guy's insane. And then it took a little while, and I finally approached him like, hey, I need to interview you. I think you said in a comment there somewhere, like there was a show coming up, and I was like, and I didn't want to bug you. I was like, no, I'm going to wait till after his show because I know that has to do a lot of mental concentration. But you were kind enough to invite me to your place, and thank you so much. For everybody, this has been Brian Olivares, Bodybuilder. Go check him out. Honestly, if you want to get inspired to either A, work out, or B, just lay on the couch and eat more, watch his Instagram. His Instagram, you post quite regularly on Instagram.
Yeah, you share my story more. I'll start posting more on my posts, but my story.
Yeah.
What I eat and like stuff that I take.
But he is insane in shape. Check him out. Not to mention, great personality. Lots of really good. You're so calm. I tell people I don't normally have an expectation of people that I don't know, but I have some idea of how I think an interview is going to go. But you kind of like, hey, whatever, squash that. Most people do. I have like really weird expectations. Good luck with your next competition. Let us know so we can post stuff for you.
We made for it.
That's actually like 2 days before we leave for Hawaii.
Oh, cool.
So maybe we can go watch.
Cool. Be Culver City is not that far.
That's where Workman lives.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
So okay, folks. So we'll have, if you're listening to this and it's not May 4th yet, then just know that we will be posting information on his show, so we can get together and go support him, and maybe do a little follow-up interview with him afterwards. Come back to the show. Maybe we can do, for those of you listening, remember, go check us out at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. You can find all the information on the show. We have more guests coming on Putting Together Conversations, which is what I'm going to talk to Brayan afterwards about. Putting together conversations about experts in their fields coming and sharing their knowledge and answering questions for you guys. So keep an eye out for those announcements on my Facebook page and to find out when the next Putting Together Conversations are. Those are live feeds, and you can ask questions while we're on the show, and the professionals will answer it. We have some really interesting people. We have Life Coach Tommy coming back. We got Christopher Shea coming back. We have Kai Kalama coming back. And I'm going to talk to Brayan about coming back and sharing some of his information and expertise on bodybuilding. For now, I want to thank my producers, Kevin Morris, for all his support. Thank you, sir. Inviting all of you to check us out at abnormalentertainment.com, where you can find all the shows on the network. Brayan slept because he had to go to the little boys' room. But for now, this is Daniel Garza saying, hey, put it together.
This is how I put it together. This is how I put it together. This is how I put it together.
Subscribe to Put It Together on iTunes, Stitcher, and at abnormalentertainment.com/putittogether. Find Put It Together on Facebook and tweet Daniel at Lil Messican, LILMESICAN. And for more podcasts, comics, books, movies, and more, head to abnormalentertainment.com.
You've been listening to the Abnormal Entertainment Network.